Alright, I'll be honest. I love plants, but I'm also really bad at remembering to water them. Like I've definitely gone on vacation and come back hoping for the best. This one? Didn't even notice I was gone. So yeah, not all houseplants need constant attention. Some of them actually prefer if you just leave them alone, and those are my kind of plants. If you're like me, busy, forgetful, or just not into daily plant chores, this video's for you. I'm going to show you 13 houseplants that basically water themselves. Not literally, but close. Let's get into it. Okay, number 1, snake plant. Honestly, this thing is a champ. Like, I've forgotten to water it for over a month, and it just kept doing its thing. It's got these tall, sword-like leaves that make it look super cool, but it's tough as nails. You could put it in a corner, near a window, wherever it's not picky. And the best part? It hates being overwatered. Seriously, if you water it too much, it'll throw a fit. Just let the soil go completely dry, and it's happy. I usually check once every few weeks, and even then it barely needs a drink. Plus, it's supposed to clean the air or something, so hey, bonus points. This is hands down one of the easiest plants to keep alive, even if you forget it exists sometimes. Alright, number 2 is the Jade Tree. This one's kind of like the plant version of that friend who never asks for much but still shows up looking good. It's got these thick, shiny little leaves that store water, so yeah, don't go overwatering it. I water mine maybe once a month, and it's totally fine. If the soil's bone dry and the leaves feel a little soft, that's usually my cue. It actually prefers being a bit thirsty, so it's perfect if you're the "oh shoot, I forgot" type. I've had one in a tiny pot by a sunny window for like 2 years, and it's still vibing. Also, fun fact, it's supposed to bring good luck or money or something, which, I'll take it. But yeah, low maintenance, looks cool, super chill. Jade Tree's a win. Coming in at number 3 is the ZZ plant. And honestly, this thing is borderline indestructible. Like, if I had to pick one plant to survive a zombie apocalypse with me, it'd be this guy. The leaves are super glossy and tough, and it somehow always looks polished, even when I forget it exists for a while. I water mine maybe once every 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes longer, and it's never complained. The trick is to let the soil dry out completely, like desert dry. Overwatering is actually worse for it than forgetting, and it does great in low light too. So I've had one chilling in my hallway with 0 sun, and it still pushes out new growth. It's like the set it and forget it of houseplants, and if you're not into high maintenance anything, ZZ is your ride or die. Number 4 is Aloe Vera, the same one people use for sunburns. Super useful, super chill. I've had one for years, and I swear it thrives on being ignored. The leaves are thick and full of gel, which means it stores water like a pro. So honestly, watering it too much is the fastest way to mess it up. I usually water mine once a month, sometimes less, especially in the winter. Just make sure the pot drains well, because it really doesn't like wet feet. What I love is that it kind of tells you when it's thirsty, the leaves get a little softer and less plump, and if you accidentally snap one, you can use the gel right away. It likes some sun, but it's not dramatic if it gets less. It's a total low-effort, high-reward plant. Definitely one of those set it down and let it do its thing kind of deals. Okay, number 5, living stones. And yeah, they legit look like little pebbles just sitting in a pot. Super weird, super cool. First time I saw them, I thought someone was messing with me. But they're real plants, and they barely need any water, like, seriously, once every few months. They're from the desert, so they're built to survive dry spells. Honestly, the biggest mistake with these is loving them too much. If you water them when they're not actively growing, you can rot the whole thing. I water mine maybe twice a year, no joke. They've got this funny little cycle where they split open and grow a new pair of leaves, and that's basically the only time they want water. Rest of the time, just leave them alone. They don't even like being touched much. It's a weird plant, but kind of fascinating. Perfect for people who want something different, but also want to do the bare minimum. Number 6 is the cast iron plant. And the name pretty much says all this thing is tough. Like, it could probably survive in a closet during a blackout and still look decent. I've gone weeks without even glancing at it, and it's just fine. The leaves are big and deep green, kinda tropical looking, but don't let that fool you it's not needy. I water it maybe every 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes even longer, depending on the season. It doesn't care if you forget, and it actually prefers drying out in between. It's also super forgiving with light, low light, bright light, whatever. It just rolls with it. I've had mine tucked in a dark corner and it still puts out new leaves like nothing's wrong. If you're looking for a plant that feels like it's made for people with chaotic schedules or just zero plant instincts, cast iron is it. Absolute tank of a plant. Alright, number 7, the Ponytail Palm, which, fun fact, isn't actually a palm, but it does have this wild Dr. Seuss hairdo thing going on, and I love it. What makes it awesome is that fat little Basit stores water like a camel. So yeah, I water mine maybe once every 3 or 4 weeks, and it's totally cool with that. Honestly, it prefers staying dry. You can forget about it for a while and it'll still be there looking all quirky and proud. It likes bright light, but it doesn't throw a tantrum if it gets less. Just don't overwater it, ever. That's the one thing that'll mess it up. I've had people ask if it's fake because it always looks so perfect. It's kind of like that friend who always looks good but swears they don't even try. Super low maintenance, super fun to look at, Ponytail Palm's a solid pick if you want something that thrives on neglect. Alright, plant number 8 is the String of Pearls. And yeah, it looks exactly like it sounds. Little green beads just spilling out of the pot like a necklace. It's a succulent, so you already know it doesn't want much water. I water mine maybe every 2 to 3 weeks, and even that feels generous sometimes. The key is making sure the soil dries out completely, like bone dry before you even think about grabbing the watering can. It's super sensitive to overwatering, and once those pearls start turning mushy, it's game over. I've got one hanging in the window, getting a bit of bright light, and that's really all it asks for. I'll usually check the leaves. If they feel firm, it's good. If they're soft, it might need a drink. It's got a delicate look, but it's tougher than it seems. Definitely one of the cooler looking plants you can basically ignore most of the time. Alright, number 9 is Echeveria, which is basically the classic rosette succulent everyone thinks of when they hear plant. These guys store water in their thick leaves, so they're super drought tolerant. I usually water mine once every 3 weeks or so, but honestly, sometimes I forget for a month, and it's still doing just fine. The trick is to let the soil dry out completely. If you water too often, the leaves get all mushy and sad. They love bright light and actually need it to keep that tight, pretty rosette shape. I keep mine near a sunny window, and it never complains. Also, they don't like water sitting in the leaves, so I make sure to water the soil and not splash the top. These guys are pretty forgiving if you're forgetful, which is perfect for me, and honestly, they look great anywhere. Just don't smush the leaves. They're delicate but chill. Okay, number 10 is Burro's tail. And this one's kind of a show-off with those long, trailing stems covered in little plump leaves that look like fat green beads. It's a succulent, so don't get it twisted. It hates getting watered too much. I usually give mine a good soak maybe every 3 to 4 weeks, but honestly, if you wait longer, it's totally fine. The leaves store water like crazy, so it's built for drought. You want the soil to dry out completely before you even think about watering again. It likes bright, indirect light. Too much direct sun can actually scorch it, which is a bummer because it looks super cool hanging down from a shelf or a basket. If you're clumsy like me, be careful though those little leaves fall off if you touch them too much, and they're not great at growing back. But honestly, if you just let it do its thing, it's a super chill plant that's way harder to kill than it looks. Alright, number 11 is Haworthia, which is one of those tiny, tough little succulents that somehow looks fancy but is seriously low-key. The leaves are thick and pointy with these cool white stripes, so it's got a bit of personality without asking for much. I water mine every 3 to 4 weeks, maybe less if it's winter, and it just sits there looking great. It doesn't need crazy bright light, which is perfect if you've got a spot that's kind of shady but not totally dark. Overwatering is the number one way to mess it up, so I'm always super careful to let the soil dry out completely before adding more water. It's slow growing, so don't expect it to suddenly explode or anything, but it's reliable. I like to keep mine in a small pot because it actually prefers being a little root-bound. It's kind of the perfect plant for people who want something cute on their desk but don't want to fuss over it every day. Honestly, Haworthia feels like the chill little succulent you didn't know you needed. All right, number 12 is the corn plant. And yeah, it kinda looks like a mini indoor palm that's pretty chill about water. I don't water mine often, like maybe every 3 to 4 weeks, and it just keeps trucking along. The leaves are big and glossy, and they give off a nice tropical vibe without needing a jungle-level commitment. It likes bright, indirect light, but will tolerate lower light, which is great if your place isn't super sunny. One thing I learned is don't overdo it on watering. These guys hate soggy soil, so I let it dry out between drinks. It's forgiving if you forget once or twice, which makes it perfect if you're not the best plant parent. Occasionally, I wipe the leaves down because dust can build up, and that seems to keep it happy. It's got a slow but steady growth, nothing crazy, and it really fills out a corner nicely. Honestly, if you want a plant that feels a little tropical but isn't needy, the corn plant's a solid bet. Last but definitely not least, Cacti Classic Desert Survivors that basically laugh at watering schedules. I'm talking maybe once every month or even longer, depending on the season. They store water, like little tanks, so they're built for neglect. Honestly, the only way you kill a cactus is by drowning it, which is easier said than done if you actually let the soil dry out. They love bright light. The more sun, the better, but some can handle a bit less if needed. Their shapes and sizes are wild, so you can pick whatever vibe you want, from those cute tiny ones to big statement pieces. They're pretty low drama, don't demand much, and somehow look cool all the time. I usually just give mine a quick check to make sure the soil's dry and maybe rotate it so it grows evenly. Plus, they're great conversation starters because people always want to poke them but shouldn't. All in all, if you want a plant that's basically the definition of low maintenance, cacti are your go-to. All right, that's a wrap on the top 13 houseplants you barely need to water. If you're like me and can't keep a plant alive to save your life, these are definitely the ones to try. Thanks for hanging out. Drop a comment if you've got a favorite low-maintenance plant. And don't forget to hit subscribe for more chill plant tips. Catch you next time.